This is how you get ahead of 99% of developers. Step 1, be language agnostic. The top developers can write code in any language, even if they've never used that language before. The reason for that is they have experience with multiple programming languages, specifically languages of different styles and paradigms. They understand strong typing, static typing, dynamic typing, weak typing, and they know the different paradigms of languages like procedural, logical, functional, object-oriented, and really how programming languages are designed and the different features that are similar across languages of different types. This means that it doesn't matter what language they need to use, they can very quickly learn it, adapt, and be very flexible. This is exactly who you want to be. That means you should get experience with as many languages as you possibly can. You don't need to be an expert in them, but if you know different types of languages, it's really going to set you apart. That's exactly why we teach multiple programming languages in my brand new software development course, which you can check out from the link in the description. Now, step 2 is to specialize. If you want to stand out, you really need to be an expert in one certain area of programming. Now, that could be a language, but more specifically, probably a framework, a certain type of development like backend, front-end, DevOps, etc. If you can be really, really good in one area, it's going to set you apart, and there's going to be a lot of roles that you'll actually be the ideal candidate for. Now, that's exactly why in my software development course, after you go through the fundamentals course taught by myself, you pick a specialization in front-end, back-end, or DevOps. If you want to check it out, again from the link in the description. Now, step 3 is to stay current. If you want to be a top developer, you constantly need to be on top of what's going on in the industry. You need to know the new languages and frameworks. You need to be up to date with things like AI and new tools and development strategies. If you can do this, it's going to set you apart. And if you don't do this, you're really just going to fall slowly behind. Think about a developer who doesn't utilize ChatGPT today. They just can't keep up with developers that do. That's why if you want to be a top 1% developer, you need to stay current and up to date with what's going on in the industry. Step number 4 is to have a strong portfolio, but even more importantly, to have a portfolio that's easy to navigate and easy to understand. It doesn't matter if you have the most complex backend library that you've written. If people can't understand that clearly and they can't access it, view it, install it, etc., it's not going to matter, right? That's why some of the best portfolios are just a really clean landing page, a great portfolio website. Obviously, stands out a bit more if you're a front-end web developer, but even if you're a back-end developer, you do DevOps stuff, doesn't matter. I'd highly recommend having a really slick, clean website, or at least something that has a huge wow factor to it, right? In my case, it's a YouTube channel. I'll point people to my YouTube. They'll see I have 1.3 million subscribers. Wow, right? That's an immediate thing that makes me stand out and shows, okay, this guy probably knows what he's talking about. In your case, you need to have something like that. It can take any form you want, but if I were to click on some link that you sent me, I should immediately be blown away and know without a shadow of a doubt that you're a great developer because of the work or the portfolio that you've just showed me. Step number 5, time management. I think this is pretty obvious, but as you climb the ranks, it's going to be expected that you can manage your own time, you can prioritize tasks, you can delegate when you need to, and you can put your energy to the most productive and most efficient thing you can possibly be doing. The worst case scenario is your manager has to constantly remind you of deadlines, ask you when things are getting done. You want to be proactive, you want to be telling people how much time you need, when something's going to be done, and you want to be able to estimate that and manage it very, very well so that you can be as efficient and productive as possible. Step number 6, business knowledge. If you're someone who can take your engineering hat off and actually look at what you're doing from a business perspective, whether that be marketing, accounting, profit, raising money, whatever the specific field is, that's really going to set you apart because many developers can't do that and they only look at things purely from an engineering lens. At the end of the day, you're working for a company. What you're doing is helping the company achieve some type of goal. Typically at the end of the day, that means driving revenue or driving profit. And if you want to move up the ranks in the company and eventually be a manager, director, executive, you're going to have that baseline business knowledge. I know for me, what's really helped in a lot of things that I've done done is that I have the business knowledge as well as the development knowledge, and I can speak both languages. I can talk about the engineering challenges while at the same time being able to talk to my CEO and say, hey, this is how this is going to support the business objectives. From what I've seen, a lot of companies actually end up promoting the more kind of middle level engineers, the guys that aren't necessarily the best, because they have more of that hybrid understanding. They're good enough at engineering and good enough at business that you can actually bring them up to a higher level, whereas some of the best software engineers, you want to just keep them as software engineers. You don't really want to move them into a management position or a more business oriented position, because that's not where their skill set lies. So it's really up to what you want to be doing, but I've found in my life that business knowledge has really helped me quite a bit, and it's allowed me to stand out as a developer in many different roles that I've been in. Now, speaking of business knowledge, I wouldn't be taking my own advice if I didn't share with you my new software development course. The main goal of this course is to actually help you land a job. That's how the course is designed from the very beginning, and it's meant to do this as quickly as possible without leaving any gaps in your knowledge. Not only do we teach you all of the fundamental software development skills, we allow you to pick a specialization in front-end, DevOps, or back-end, which is included in the price of the course. This is taught by an industry expert, and we give you career advice, mentorship, one-on-one support, access to all of the instructors like myself. Literally everything we do is so that by the time you finish this program, you are better qualified than all of the other junior developers, and you're going to stand out for any type of job you apply for. I'm super pumped about this course. We even have a free introduction course that tells you everything you need to do to break into software development. You can sign up for that with no obligation from the link in the description. I hope you guys like it. With that said, let's get into our last point. The last point here, guys, is soft skills. This is a big topic in the course as well, but it's so important because if you want to move up the ranks as a developer or just not get fired from your job, you need to be a friendly person. You need to know how to communicate. You need to be confident, speak clearly, concisely, and understand how you actually work with the team of people. That's really what you're doing as a software developer. You're working in a team. Very rarely are you working completely by yourself, and communication is as important as the code that you write. Even if you're the best developer in the world, if you can't communicate, no one's going to want to work with you. And I can say from experience, even not being the best developer, since I had strong communication skills, I was always considered for raises and promotions versus some of the better developers simply because I was more well-rounded. That's what you want to aim to be, not just the absolute expert in one certain area, but well-rounded. So you have that business knowledge, you have those communication skills, you have those development skills. If you have that, you're going to stand out and you're going to be that top 1% developer. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.